What's up everybody, good afternoon and welcome back to cilinixfxcapital. Welcome to this new video right here this Friday. We're going to do a full update on the markets, I have to say. I mean, the US session and the New York Open was about 45 minutes ago. And when it opened, there was quite a lot of volatility, as you can see, but so far it's been relatively quiet. So we're going to do a full update on everything I think you need to know. I will also spend a little bit more time talking about some specific altcoins that I think are interesting and that I think you need to have on your watch list. So make sure to stay around for that. It's going to be around the 4-minute mark, I would think. But for now, let's get right into it. So, wanted to start off with the fundamentals right now. Earlier today, so during the Asian session, we had the Bank of Japan coming out with some news, or at least news. They kept the interest rate unchanged, but they were a little bit more hawkish. So if I go to my stock watch list and I show you the Nikkei index, you can see that had a bit of a drop. I think that was one of the reasons why we started today relatively bearish. But so far we've had good recovery, right? And if you take a look at the volatility index, if you take a look at bond yields, if you take a look at the S&P 500, since the open, all the fundamentals are good, right? And specifically for crypto, specifically for Bitcoin, we also have a Coinbase Bitcoin premium still. So, you know, regarding the fundamentals, things can change. We can get news anytime, basically. But as it stands right now, there's no news I think you need to be aware of urgently. That you need to be aware of and that you need to be afraid for. Now what we do have coming up the 21st of September is a new moon, which is something you should be, you know, I spoke about the full moon here as well, the 7th of September. It's something you need to know. It's something you need to know what usually happens during that period of time. But I will keep that for tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to do a full video on that, so keep an eye out for that. But when we're looking at Bitcoin, I would argue we've been relatively weak. We pushed down with low volume into the 7-day rolling VWAP. Basically, to sum up my thoughts on Bitcoin, I would be short-term bearish, right? Friday is usually a quite bearish day for Bitcoin and the markets, and we've pushed down quite a bit, and I think it's normal to get a bit of a pullback. So short-term, I'd be bearish, but long-term, and if you look at my positioning, I'm bullish. Right, I have quite a lot of major spot positions open. I've also taken profits, but ultimately I'm still quite exposed to the markets, right? So if you zoom out if you zoom out on others, basically altcoins, I'm bullish on this, right? I don't think you can easily be bearish on a chart that looks like this. And if you zoom in and if you zoom out on Bitcoin, I would be bullish as well. The thing is that, you know, if we fail to get a good reaction right here at 115.5, I think we could still fall down all the way to 113, but I don't want to scare you too much before heading up to 119 and 120,000, which is my main price target. So that is a possibility. Do I think that's most likely? No. I think today we're going to see a little bit more de-risking, but that ultimately either at the end of today or tomorrow or next week, we'll be able to get bullish continuation into 119 and 120. If we get bad news, then Bitcoin could pull back into 113,000 and then after that rally. But only with bad news, I would expect that. Now, when we briefly talk about XRP and Ethereum right here, before we talk about some interesting altcoins, the most interesting part of the video, in my opinion, they're stable, right? I mean, if you look at the 4-hour time frame here on Ethereum, it's holding relatively well here, but it's definitely not bullish on the lower time frames at least. So I expect that stability to continue, and I basically expect the same for I expect the same for Ethereum as what I expect for Bitcoin. And when I look at XRP, same thing. Earlier today, XRP was relatively strong, so that's good to see. But I mean, if you look at the 4-hour time frame, it's barely anything. So I expect stability from this as well. And then maybe you know, it's just waiting for Bitcoin to gain momentum, and then XRP and Ethereum will move up as well. But they're definitely not coins to focus on too much, and I also don't see any interesting entry areas close to the price right now. Altcoins. Interesting. All right. Like I said, altcoins in general, I think you should have a bullish bias on altcoins. We not only broke out, but we're also in an uptrend. And on the lower time frames, we are holding the 7-day rolling VWAP. So I think you should have a bullish bias on altcoins, both short term and long term. So a couple of altcoins that I wanted to talk about. First of all, Linea. All right. So Linea. I've been fundamentally bullish on this for a long time. The best buy area was right here at 2.4 cents. All right, fair value gap, bottom of the range. missed that, all right? But we're at the top of the range right now. I still think at some point of time, so far we haven't been able to do so, and I'm not certain if it's going to happen right now, just to clarify that, but this range I think is going to break at some point of time. It's near that range right now, so watch that. More specifically, watch that level at 3.3 cents, so that's 0.033. Now, what more do we have? We got some good news for Athena earlier today. That basically Binance Labs, right? So the venture capital arm of Binance invested more in Athena. Now, Athena has been incredibly weak for some reason. It's probably VCs and major early token sale participants selling, but there's been so much good news about Athena that I think it's too early right now, but at some point of time this is going to rally again. So definitely something to keep on your watch list. For now, I'd still be careful. For now, it still seems to me that there's a lot of selling pressure, so be aware of that. But this is the ticker. Definitely want to keep your eyes on. And if we're lucky, we're going to get a spike down into this level right here at 55 and 56 cents. If we get there, I'd say it's a guaranteed buy, but obviously for security purposes, that's not financial advice. And then two more. No, one more. I mean, I wanted to call out Hyperliquid. Because we got some news that Hyperliquid will be integrated in the MetaMask wallet. But Hyperliquid, it initially got a good reaction, but it has fallen down afterwards. So last but not least, we've had a major breakout. This is very interesting in my opinion. Major breakout on NEAR. It's retesting the previous range highs right here. Think this is very interesting. I think, even though it's a bit of a risky trade to take potentially going into new moon, but I think this was a real breakout, so that we're going to get some sort of a break retest right here before we're going to get a move into 3.5 and 3.6. So definitely a coin to keep your eyes on as well. That's NEAR protocol, right? So NEAR. Those are my thoughts. I think that's what you need to know for today. It's a little bit of a longer video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Like I said, short term, I'm a little bit bearish, but ultimately medium term, maybe even over the course of this weekend, I am bullish again. And on the longer time frames, I'm bullish as well, right? On the medium to long term. So thank you for watching, everybody. Have a great rest of your Friday. Have a great weekend in advance, and bye.